when you say that though, does it not become continuous at some point though?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It
So
becomes
you're not,
continuous so that like it's not about remembering. You might
yeah.
remember even if it's continuous to take a short moment, but it's continuous. That's the confidence. Open intelligence, and it's instinctive. Yeah,
Okay,
exactly. So you don't need
so then
short moments at one point.
right. So then are
Yeah.
you going to go into the annoyance about something then at
Yeah,
that
well,
point?
that might, yes, but it will be different. You go into the annoyance, and um, what will come. There will be let's put it like that. In own experience, in my experience, it is like um, the da- data continue to arise for sure. So annoyance can arise without it being in the same way annoyance. You can't slip back into data and not know open intelligence. So that's just like impossible. But there is no place where you've arrived and that's it. There will be a forever deepening, and this sounds even without open intelligence, short moments being needed, even though I enjoy short moments, but I'm not really, it's also automatic at the same time because it, but it deepens forever. But that means, like you can still, feel like data, but even in an overwhelm. So you need to also know that overwhelm or going into data is free in its own place. Yeah. You won't be acting out data, or maybe you would, but even even in that, there's it's a it, there's a very clear confidence in open intelligence. Yeah, because that has to be an appearance of open intelligence equally too. So you're not falling out of open intelligence, but it also doesn't justify any actions, you know. So the benefit of all is really switched on, which includes yourself. So the yeah, was that helpful?
Yeah, but I can imagine though, like, say something happened seriously to a family member that I don't know how hard it would be to, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly actually. So now when we take, you know, that would mean it could feel like completely sad, and grief can be totally present. So open intelligence actually doesn't mean that we don't experience complete grief or even a breakdown of, feeling like there's nothing
Mm.
other than grief and open intelligence. But it's
Right.
like deep compassion for oneself and actually all beings going through something like that. So it doesn't take us away from actually experience deep pain, and I'll say even suffering, without it being that same quality of suffering. Yeah. Johannes, that's something maybe you wanted to share? Just,
Well, yeah, my
mm,
mom passed 2 years ago, and no, I've had a long journey of harmonizing that relationship over many many years, and so fortunately, by the time this happened, she had cancer, and I think after the diagnosis, there was maybe half a year or so, um, and so we live in the US, and I went there and I lived with my family, which I hadn't done for many, many years, being so close with family and being so close around my mother. And it was like so sweet, so tender, tears, but so much openness and spaciousness in the entire experience. It really is indescribable. Like that pain can feel spacious and almost warm and sweet, but not taking away the pain part of it. Um, and I always thought at some point it must, it it must hit me more, or I must feel more suffering. And I even felt a little guilty of because I didn't feel that same like kind of suffering that I thought I needed to feel. Um, and then a year later, after she had passed already, I went through another cycle where I somehow felt an intense wave of grief coming and just missing her incredibly. And we weren't that close, like on a psychological and physical level for many years. And still, I had this like incredible missing and longing. And also in that experience, I could just be completely free. So that's that freedom of open intelligence is that we can be fully human, fully alive. We go through the entire experience, um, but it's free in it's free in its own place in a way. So it can really be exactly as it is. And I think and I know this would be different for everybody, just for me, because there was no, like my experience, I wasn't pushing it away and I wasn't trying to feel differently. That made the flow so effortless in a way to be in this experience and to be with family, including like the wish to help and not being able to help, like so many things that come up in a situation like that. Um, yeah, so very, very practical and very empowering to have that as a resource. And people around us felt that like groundedness and that stability in it. Yeah. So it's definitely everything in a way even is felt more deeply, I would say, because I was always managing my experience, my feelings, and right, like if I think that emotional pain is something that can like threaten or kill me, like that's the fear, right? It's like this will like kill me if I need to hold this at bay. And when we don't do that, we can see, wow, it doesn't. I still feel it fully, but so that gives it all so much more depth and yeah, and in a way significance and connection without it being in this like reified description.
Thank you. That's really helpful, actually.
Mm.